Today on Upfront, keeping Milwaukee safe. Next, Mayor Tom Barrett on hiring new police officers and recovering from the violent unrest that rocked the central city after a fatal police shooting. Then, a conservative alternative for president, independent candidate Evan McMullin, on why he hopes Wisconsin voters will write in his name on November 8th. And Wisconsin's most competitive congressional race, Democrat Tom Nelson on the contest for the 8th district in northeastern Wisconsin.
Covering the issues important to Wisconsin. This is Up Front with Mike Goucher.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Up Front. It's happened again in another American city. Violent protests after another police shooting of an African-American man. This time, it's Charlotte, North Carolina, seen violence and angry confrontations with police. You remember this happened in Milwaukee in mid-August after a black police officer shot a black man police said was armed in a foot chase. Today on Up Front, how has Milwaukee recovered from its violent unrest and what's going to be done to address a 2-year surge in murders and shootings in the city? We're asking Milwaukee's Mayor Tom Barrett, who will introduce his next budget tomorrow. And Mayor Barrett, it's good to have you on the program today.
It's always good to be on your show, Mike.
So let's talk about the surge in violence, and there have been calls for more police officers. What in the budget will be done to address this situation?
Well, actually, we will have a significant increase in the police budget, but people have to understand that this is all done in a context of a lot of state mandates as it relates to collective bargaining, and with some real limitations on our ability to raise revenue. In other words, even though we will see our police budget increase by $25 million, and I think by any figuring, that's a lot of money, we will maintain the same strength that we are maintaining this year because of the labor agreements and the way the laws are written. This presents a tremendous challenge because this year, 2016, for the first time in the city's history, the police department budget will exceed the tax levy for the entire city of Milwaukee. We spend more money on the police department here than we collect in property taxes from all property taxpayers. For 2017, we're going to add $25 million to that. And for the first time in our city's history, we will spend over $300 million on our police department. Now, I hear from legislators and others from outside the city who are critical of our efforts. And I say, wait a minute, let's put this in perspective. Since 2004, and this is for 2016 now, when you take together the amount that I have put into our police department, plus the amount I put into our police department pensions, that's been an increase of $127 million. The state's commitment has been reduced by $12 million.
So it's a tough fiscal reality for you.
Well, and I'll be even more blunt. I have people who criticize me, and my reaction is, wait a minute. I'm putting $127 million more in, and you're putting $12 million less in, and you're critical of me? Where's the partnership?
So are there additional police officers in the budget?
We will be hiring between 130 and 150 police officers next year, but my anticipation is that we'll probably have that many retirements.
Because you've got more than 300 eligible for retirement at the end of 2017?
Right. So I don't foresee, and again, it's going to depend on the number of retirements, but we will put another 35 into a class this December, and we're anticipating that we'll have 2 classes of between 50 and 65 for next year. So again, that's between 135 and 160 police officers that we are going to be hiring. But to be honest with you, I'm assuming that we'll have pretty close to that many retirements.
So how do you think this will play in the Common Council? There are members of the council who say we need a surge in police officers, maybe 280 more. We've seen Rahm Emanuel in Chicago say we're going to hire nearly 1,000 more police officers to cut down on crime.
I think it's going to be all over the board on the Common Council, and I think it's going to be all over the board in the public. But the point that I have to get across here is it is going to be impossible for us to sustain this unless we get more help from the state in the forms of shared revenue, a program that was instituted nearly 100 years ago, or we are allowed to have a new source of income, like a sales tax. It just mathematically, I mean, I can paint this any way you want, but mathematically, it just doesn't add up.
What do you think about what Chicago did, where the mayor there is saying 1,000 more police officers?
Well, our thought was, okay, where's he going to get the money? Right now, Chicago's getting near junk status in a number of its borrowing. I don't know where they're going to get that money from. And I think there's some people want to have more police officers. And again, I have never laid off a police officer. I hope I never lay off a police officer, and we will maintain a strong police department. But I also think that there's other factors here as well. And we were very pleased last week to get a $5 million grant from the federal government that's going to allow us to work with young people in particular who are facing challenges, so that we can get them into the summer jobs program, so we can get them connected, so they don't have this feeling of hopelessness that can lead to antisocial behavior, criminal behavior.
Mayor, give us your sense of the city today. So we've had a few weeks pass since the unrest here, and what we saw in Charlotte kind of reminds us these things can happen. How are we faring today? Do you feel like there's been any movement and progress made towards sort of healing this community?
The way I describe it is it's not boiling right now, but the water's still hot. Because a lot of the issues that were really relevant to that are still here, and they're issues that have been boiling, if not heating up the water, if you will, for years to come. But I was pleased, for example, last week that BMO Harris announced that it's going to be having its new location right there at the same site. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that I did right after the disturbances. I reached out to virtually every property owner to say, look, I want you to reinvest in this community because I grew up here. And I know what happened in 1967 when you saw the disinvestment. So I've made it a specific charge to me not to allow that disinvestment to occur, because we all recognize that if there's more disinvestment, then the problem gets worse. I need to have investment in that city, and in the heart of the city. And along with that, we need to have more investment. That's what's going to solve this. We need more investment. And again, one of my frustrations is when I talk to employers who are in the outlying area and they say they can't find employees. And my response is, come to the city. We've got thousands of people, and they want to work. Now, people say, oh, this person doesn't want to work, this person doesn't want to work. Well, that's going to be the case anywhere. But I know for a fact, because I've been in these neighborhoods, there are people who want to work. We need to have jobs there because the transportation system isn't there for them to get out to the far reaches of the metropolitan area.
Mayor Tom Barrett will release his budget tomorrow. Mayor, we appreciate you being on the program today. Thanks very much for being with us. You bet. Coming up later on Up Front, we'll hear from the Democrat running for the open seat in the 8th Congressional District, Outagamie County Executive Tom Nelson. But first, conservatives unhappy with Donald Trump as their nominee have an alternative. We'll introduce you to Evan McMullin next on Up Front.
Up Front with Mike Goucher, brought to you by the American Transmission Company and the Wisconsin Corn Growers Association.